Hi there, I'm going to now talk you through using the various selection tools to again create selections from larger data sets so that you can reduce them down to a smaller size, or for there's lots of other reasons why you might want to select out particular features or polygons in a particular layer. So we're going to just look at those both now in turn. We're going to go up here to the selection menu, and first one we're going to look at is the select by location. This is a reasonably straightforward tool to use, and in this example I want to select out all of the woodlands in this area that are sitting inside the area of outstanding natural beauty, so inside this other polygon, this larger polygon of the high weald here. So the tool is designed to do this quite straightforwardly. First of all, I need to choose a selection method. So I want to select features from, and then I can choose the layer that I'd like to select the features from. So I want to select it from the ancient woodland layer, which I know is AWI. And the source layer down here is the layer that I'm going to use to locate the things that I want to select. So I want to select everything inside the source layer, or inside the boundary of this AONB designation here. So again, I'm going to choose the high weald as my source layer, and then I've got a choice down here of various different options, and I again need to be quite careful about choosing the right one here. So I'm going to select the one here so I'm going to select things that are completely within the source layer. So I'm going to accept that, and then I'm going to simply click apply, and you'll see the map highlights and makes a selection of everything inside the boundary of the high weald. So if I click OK, that will confirm and accept that selection. And of course, the bigger the data set, the longer this selection process will take. And we're going to be selecting probably in the region of some couple of thousand polygons inside that area. So this is the reason it will take some time to complete the selection process. One thing worth noting at this point, so here we go, it's telling us down the bottom here the number of selected features is 5,330. I just want to have a quick zoom in and just have a look at some of these polygons that are right on the very edge of the boundary. So we've got polygons like this, for example, here. The likelihood is that that polygon actually slightly overlaps the source layer, the boundary that we've asked it to select from within. So it hasn't been selected because the polygon is not completely within inside this other polygon, this AONB boundary. There's a way of improving this, or at least adding those to the current selection. A couple of ways, in fact. So if we go back to the selection tool, and again we choose select by location, and at the top here, the selection method we can actually change, and we can say add. So we're going to add extra features to this. Again, we're selecting from the same layer, the woodland layer, and again the source layer is also the still the same, it's the high weald, and we just need to change the way that the selection is made this time. So I'm going to add everything that intersects the feature, the source feature, so that in effect will select everything on the edges of this boundary. And I'll simply click OK, and it should now make the selection. And again, this will take some time depending on how big a data set you're working with. And we should see the number now, the total number of selected polygons, jump up once this process is complete. So there we go, it's made the selection of these ones that are intersecting the polygon that's sitting below there. And also we notice that the number here is increased as well, so we've now actually selected many more features. And so once we've made the selection, obviously we can do something with it. So I mean, one option is to export that and create its own separate feature class, and again we would do that by right clicking on the woodland layer and then going to data and export, and then we would export that back in as a feature class back into our geodatabase. Another quicker option, if you don't want to necessarily make this a permanent saved feature class, is to simply choose the selection menu and go create layer from selected features, which is what I'm going to do now. And as you can see, it's kind of added a new layer up here to the layers area, and I can now switch off the entire woodland layer, and all we're going to be left with is the selection that sits inside that designated area. That's not permanently saved. Well, it is. It's only permanently saved inside this map project. So if I go up here and save the file and then come back to reopen it in the future, the layer will be saved in here, along with all its attributes as well. So it's a way of kind of making selections and extracting and creating smaller sets of data very quickly. But the layer is only saved in here and is only available in this map view, so you could not load it into any other project. And it's not available through the catalogue at the moment. The only way to make it available through the catalogue would be to, again, right click on here and go to data and export data and export it back into the geodatabase as a feature class, and then it would be available to any other in any other environment or any other map that you might want to use it for. So that's quite a quick way just to create a selection and add it as a separate layer very quickly. I'm going to do another selection now based on this and select out some more features. This time I'm going to do a select by attribute and just show you how this function works. Most bits of data generally have some attributes behind them. I know that the attributes that sit behind these polygons for ancient woodland are divided into ancient woodland and also into planted ancient woodland, so I can actually do a selection, or I could select a subset of these woodland polygons using the attribute pause. So using this window here, I can actually build up a query which will run and select out the polygons that are pause woodlands. It's just about choosing the right field here. So I know that the status field has some detail in it about the status of the woodland, whether it is ancient woodland or it's pause woodland. So I'm going to use that column in the attribute table to build my query. So the first thing I would do is double tap on it, and it puts it down here into this kind of query builder. And then I'm going to press the equals button, and then I'm going to get the computer to show me the values that could possibly be in this status column. So we've got two values in this column. It could either be SN, ASNW, ancient semi-natural woodland, or pause planted ancient woodland sites. So I want to make a selection of the planted ancient woodland sites, so I'm going to double tap that, and then I'm going to simply click OK, and this will now run the query and should make a selection. And as you can see over here on the map, it's selected all of the woodland polygons that are actually planted ancient woodland sites. So again, I could simply right click on here and I could either export it back into the geodatabase as its own separate feature class, or I could just go up to the selection tool and make or create a layer from the selected features. So if I now switch off the all woodlands, I'm now just left with the woodland polygons that are actually planted ancient woodland sites. So there's various ways that you can use selection tools to start to analyze the data that you might have based on either attribute data in there and making selections using the attributes, or also selecting based on an area or another polygon feature.